Now that's a breakdown. That is intense. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me for another reaction video. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. That way it'll help me, and it'll help you, I hope, in the sense that you'll get alerts when these go live. We are back with a new one, a band I actually do know, or I know some of their older stuff, called Ocean's 8 Alaska. I haven't heard them for quite a long time, and I haven't heard most of their recent stuff. One of these videos pops up. I think it's a year or two old, I'm not sure, but I haven't heard it. It's called Hansha. It's an official music video. Really interesting to see where they've gone with their sound and what they're doing now. So without further ado, Ocean's 8 Alaska, Hansha. Let's see what you've got. Okay. Oh, wow. They're very, I'm going back again, I just love the way they did that. I've spoken quite a few times about smart ways to do intros. They came in with that kind of muffled piece. The EQ is very limited on that. It sounds very MIDI, but then they had the guitar coming in, which sounded like the actual full band of it, but because it wasn't rung out and it was just palm muted, it's like throws you off. It's like you're not sure where it's going. And then they brought in a steady beat with that over. They are very good at having those palm muted pieces really tightly controlled with the kick drum. So that was awesome. That was really cool start. Drummer's feet. Between these worlds, reality seems to lose its hold. We hide away and try to fill. Did you hear that? Where the drum loop or the sample ended and he came in. It's almost flawless. I know it's a music video again, but that was really, really good. Love his vocals, and the clean guitar behind it after that initial piece is very, very smart. So far, I'm actually annoyed that I hadn't been keeping up to date with him. Between these worlds, reality seems to lose its hold. We hide away and try to fill the space between these thoughts. The drive on the bass is intense. So often I go, oh, I wonder how I'm so interested I'm obsessed with structure, melody, songwriting. How I often think at moments like this, like, oh, how did those two melodies fuse? How did what's happening with the band and what's happening with the vocals come together? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if later on in the song, that vocal melody stays the same and the guitar work rings out underneath it and becomes more of your traditional sounding backing music to that. I wouldn't be surprised, because that's usually the case, is that's how things are written, and then they go, well, this is actually a better way of doing that, and they almost reverse engineer it. It's very cool so far. Lot of like, geez, a lot of things going on there. He's got quite like a it's quite condensed vocal, but he's singing quite high up. It's not necessarily in his it's not a head notes, but it's sitting very up in his high register. He the drummer, I'm always very interested with these guys, and I remember this now as I'm listening. His kick drum's got a very high click on it, and a lot of guys who do very fast double bass or very intricate double bass, search for that click in studio. They try and get it to like click really high, because that helps make those impressive and quick beats really audible. So it's kind of something I remember from them. The band just kind of playing out in the background, and then the guitars ring, really nice change to the more intricate stuff they were doing earlier. And they did have lead pieces that sounded like it had a harmony on it as well. So loads going on, but loads of good stuff. There you go. It's got a good scream. Breakdown. Listen to his kick work. He's doing a lot. He's doing a lot. Listen to how fast his feet are working in that moment. You kind of have two choices there when the tempo's sitting there. It's like you slow it down, or do you Superman it and go as quick as he is? Of course he's going to do that, but I love that there's this, it's such a weird breakdown. It's not your traditional breakdown. It is in the sense that you can hear it transitioning. It's much more intense. It's much more brutal, but it's still got those big gaps of, not silence, but lack of music. And that's, I find that very interesting. Nice panning. Now that's a breakdown. That is intense. So easy to be lazy and go straight from that back into a chorus piece, but to add something more gentle and subtle in, again, takes you on a journey with them. When you're doing those really slow, almost feels like you're being slowed down. It feels like it's constantly slowing down. That's how slow the tempo is for that. When you're doing that on guitar and you're palm muting, but you're letting it open just a little, and you're trying to get a bit of bend out of those notes. It's quite hard to control and keep them all perfectly and without slipping off, or because you can hear it immediately. So I really like that. Back to the beginning. That dun, dun, dun. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a vocal that's been distorted. It's interesting. Yeah. Big fan. Like that a lot. Like I said, I think this is a year or two old, so there's probably a lot newer stuff out, but I hadn't heard it, and I'm so glad I listened to it again. I'm so glad it popped up. YouTube's algorithm is making me happy today. I remember so much is coming back to me when I listen to them. I don't know if any of you were ever younger enough. I know there's kind of quite a wide age range on this channel, on my audience now, but for the younger guys who maybe are too young, when you used to put a CD in while you're driving in your car, and then you'd hit a bump and it would skip. That's what a lot of what they do reminds me of. And it sounds like such a negative thing, but I don't mean it. It's their tightness in terms of the palm muting that sticks to the kick drum. It almost sounds like a digital skip. It's because they're keeping it so tight, so condensed. I want to go and listen to some live stuff to see how accurately or how closely they can replicate it, because you can't get it perfect. Certainly if you're putting on a performance, I think that would be very difficult. But I love that about them. And there's so many bits in the back that are consistent and flow that you know it's not an error. So just smart play then. Kind of a lot of their fundamentals are still in there about what I remember about them, and I think that's important. But it definitely sounds like an evolution. It's an awesome song. I loved it. If you liked it, please let me know with a big thumbs up, and I will do more. But until the next one, please be safe, be nice to each other, and have a damn good day.